It was a big day in court for former President Donald Trump. A trial date has been set in April for his hush money case, and an appeals court has issued a ruling about whether he needs to pay his $454 million civil fraud judgment.
All right, Fox 5's Morgan McKay has been following these cases all day and joins us live outside Lower Manhattan District Court with the latest. Morgan.
Steve and Natasha, former President Donald Trump was here in Lower Manhattan today, where he suffered both a win and a loss in two separate New York cases. For his criminal case, that trial date is set to start on April 15th, despite his team's efforts to push that back. And in his civil fraud case, an appeals court today might have saved some of Trump's properties from being seized.
I don't know how you can have a trial that's going on right in the middle of an election.
But former President Donald Trump will be back in court in just about 21 days. That's when jury selection will start in the criminal trial accusing Trump of falsifying business records to cover up hush money payments to adult film star Stormy Daniels. Trump's legal team had sought to push back the start date of the trial after federal prosecutors released hundreds of thousands of pages of documents related to their federal investigation of Trump's former lawyer, Michael Cohen, just a little more than a week ago. Cohen is expected to be a star witness in this case and will be testifying that he made the hush money payments to Daniels on behalf of Trump to keep her quiet about an alleged affair before the 2016 presidential election. Manhattan District Attorney Alvin Bragg agreed to a slight delay of the trial in light of the new documents turned over by federal prosecutors, but he argued that only a fraction of these documents are related to this criminal case. After the judge ruled in favor of the DA's office, Cohen posted to social media saying in part, quote, "Game on." Trump and his team took a defiant tone after the hearing.
I would have no problem testifying. I didn't do anything wrong.
Trump made these comments at 40 Wall Street, one of the properties that could have been seized by the Attorney General after Trump failed to post a $450 million bond on Monday in his civil fraud case. But an appeals court swooped in at the last minute, saying that Trump now only has to pay $175 million in the next 10 days while his appeal process plays out. In a statement, a spokesperson for the Attorney General said, quote, "Donald Trump is still facing accountability for his staggering fraud. The $464 million judgment plus interest against Donald Trump and the other defendants still stands." Meanwhile, Trump says he plans to pay the $175 million, but highlighted the growing overlap between these legal cases and his presidential campaign.
And I have much more than that in cash. But I would also like to be able to use some of my cash to get elected. They don't want me to use my cash to get elected.
Now, earlier today, Lower Manhattan was packed with police officers, dozens of police officers, metal barriers. That has since all cleared out, but they'll be all back again on April 15th. Reporting live, I'm Morgan McKay. Steve and Natasha, back to you.